Do you think you can be
No,
closer
Harry
to the title than Arsenal next season, at least challenging than Arsenal next season?
I think we could both challenge next year, because we've both got similar problems, right? Arsenal, they've got a problem up top, like I said. And for us, our major problem this season has been our finishing. A lot of people like to cook our defense, including you, Mo, how bad we are defensively. But with the likes of Chalobah, with the likes of Cole, with the likes of Sanchez in goal, throwing the ball into the back of the net, we still have the third best defense in the league, right? So you have to give praise to Maresca for that. You have to give praise to guys like Caicedo for that, right? Every time I see Chalobah or Cole have a good game, these guys, I never hear any praise on their name. But when they make stupid mistakes like what they did against Ipswich, it's everywhere, bro. Chelsea's defense stinks. Chelsea's defense that. And for me, bro, I've been saying throughout the whole season, Mo, our defense has mid-table centre-backs, yes, right? But it's not as bad as what people make it out to be. Nina will tell you the amount of stupid shit we see at the back at times, where it's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah? I rarely ever see Chelsea getting bopped, and then we concede. That was last season, right? But this year, I'm telling you, bro, even if we had a decent striker this year, give me Visa, give me fucking Wood, big pause on that as well, blood. Give me these guys, and I'm showing you, we would have finished above Arsenal this season, right? I can think of that Christmas period. Our biggest problem over that Christmas period when we lost to Ipswich, we lost to Fulham, we drew to Palace, we kept dropping points because we couldn't finish. It wasn't so much our defense, it was our finishing that was shocking, bro. Yeah. So these gooners right now, they need to wake up and smell the coffee. You got to a Champions League semi-final, cool, but you are literally 4 points above me. You finished above Chelsea, 26 points last season. That was the difference. And the year before that, I think it was even more. Yeah. The gap is getting smaller and smaller, and we can clearly see there's gaps in this team. We need a new left winger that's right-footed. We need a striker. We need a new goalkeeper. We need a centre-back, right? There's gaps in this team right now. So for anyone that's deluding themselves into thinking if Chelsea don't make the right signings, we can't compete next year and even finish above these guys, you're delusional, right? We've created more chances than these guys. We've missed more big chances than these guys. Palmer and Enzo, both sitting on over 20 G8. Caicedo, for me, best midfielder in the league this season, right? Arguably best DM in world football right now. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
Rodri hasn't been fit, though. Let's be real. This season, for me, I can't think of a better DM than Caicedo. There hasn't been anyone better than this guy. You know what I'm saying? So end of the day, when I'm looking at our midfield, for me, that's actually been the strongest part of our team. Our attack has literally scored 2 less goals than Arsenal this season, right? And like I said, our defense is the 3rd best in the league right now. So anyone that's thinking that we can't kick on next season, you're just lying to yourself. What it is right now, a lot of people have gotten used to Chelsea being in the mud. Like they're thinking we haven't got something to build from. We've got a lot of players at this club that you'd love playing for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You'd love Palmer in your midfield. You'd love Enzo in your midfield. You'd love Caicedo in your midfield. That's why your club tried to sign him beforehand. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I'm onto these lot this summer. The cramp twins upstairs, I'm fucking onto them because we need to compete next year. I don't want to be sitting here talking about, Lavia. Obviously, we've got Santos coming back now. But if he gets injured, at least we've got a Santos there. Caicedo, we've got backup for him. We've got a Sugo coming in, right? We need to bring someone in to relieve that pressure from Jackson. We need a new goalkeeper to take Sanchez out. I know Sanchez has got a little bit better the past few weeks, but we need to get him the hell out of it. I don't trust him. You know what I mean? So I'm showing
you guys like the Chevalier at all?
No. We're not looking at him.
You might want to look at him.
I think
do you agree with him?
I think Petrovic will get promoted.
Do you agree with him, Osam? Are you more
Arsenal are closer to Liverpool than Chelsea are?
How when all the underlying metrics are closer to you? Our underlying metrics are closer to you than Arsenal.
I still think the season where Liverpool finished below Man United and Newcastle, Liverpool was still closer to Manchester City and Arsenal at the time than Newcastle and Man United. League finish alone does not mean something. It's about the context of the whole thing. I still think Arsenal will challenge and they will be close, but I think I cannot back them to win anything anymore with this manager. But I still think that they will be closer than Chelsea are, and that's because of your owners. Because your owners are not gonna go get the experience.
Let me ask you then, Hussam. No, you're saying they're not gonna go get the experience. That's tired. We've got experience in this team. Stop coming with that.
Who's experience? Right? Nkunku 25.
Jadon Sancho has experience, right? Tosin.
Let me mute my mic, guys.
Jadon Sancho. Are you man gonna tell me Jadon Sancho's not got experience, bro?
Jadon Sancho.
Hold on. Are you gonna tell me
Nina's like, I'm not with him.
No. Hold on a second.
Nina's like,
let Nina talk. Jadon Sancho, yeah?
Has Jadon Sancho got experience? Just yes or no?
I can put her center stage to talk about this.
Yes or no? It's a simple question.
Sancho.
Experience in what?
Sancho experience, yes or no?
In what though?
No.
Habibi,
What?
James Milner,
This guy's
James
literally playing
Milner
the
is
Champions League
experience.
final. What are we doing here?
We're talking about
This-
experience and actually good. We're not talking about just experience.
So Jadon Sancho's not a good player.
No,
No, he is a good
He's not-
player,
I don't
Dom,
think he's been
but
good at
there's
Chelsea.
a-
he's
No,
average.
but, yeah, but his point
He's been good since he was at Dortmund.
Nina, okay, hold on. There's another Chelsea fan. There's another
No,
Chelsea fan.
there is. But his point
Silence
just
and
then,
everything.
his point just then is Chelsea don't like to bring in experience, and I've just debunked that. We brought in Tosin, who's experienced. We brought in Sancho, who's got
Come
experience.
on,
We brought in.
Tosin.
Nah, Dom, come on, man.
Tosin.
Oh, these guys are
No.
experienced players. Like, no
Where?
one's gonna tell me that Sancho's
I
not
told
an
him experience,
player.
and he said Tosin and Sancho.
What
These
is
guys have
Tosin?
experience,
Or
bro.
someone.
Chalobah
Who
has
else you
experience.
gonna say next? Nkunku? Say Nkunku as well. Finish the
Bro, if
trifecta.
you
Please don't say Nkunku.
Hold on, Husam,
Finish the
Husam, you
trifecta.
still haven't
Finish it.
answered my question.
Score
You
the
still
hat
haven't
trick.
answered my question. You still haven't answered my question, right?
No,
Maybe I
Dom,
explained to you
Dom,
the
I think you're
answer. I
phrasing it.
told
I
you
think,
about
I think
being-
you're phrasing it incorrectly. You're phrasing what you're
No,
trying
I'm
to
not
say
phrasing it
You
incorrectly.
are.
I'm talking about experience and actually being good. No one's asking you to go sign James Milner just because he's experienced. We're talking about experience and being a good player that helps your team. Meaning, what is most
Sancho
likely
helped
to
our
happen
team
this
many
summer?
times this season, bro.
Diego
wait,
Carlo has a lot of
Don,
experience.
you are listening to respond. You're not listening to understand. What's more likely
Let me
this
remute my
summer?
mic, man. Let me remute my mic.
Chelsea go sign an experienced midfielder, an experienced centre back, an experienced striker that's actually good that helps them win, or sign youth players. Like, do I see Delap being a Chelsea striker? Yes, because he's young, he fits the bill, he can sign a
You
7-year
don't have to
death
pay
row
him very
contract.
much.
So it just makes sense. But I don't see the really good players signing for Chelsea at this moment in time. It's about the kids. That's what you're doing. Your fan base protested,
give
and a
us the
day
names of
later,
the-
and a day
Let me
later
ask
you
you a
signed
question
Quenda. How
Give
does
us the
Quenda
names.
make you
Give us the
closer to a
names,
league
Sam.
title?
Give us the
How?
names of these experienced players Chelsea should be looking at this summer. Give us all the names.
Okay, you're
John
talking about
Stones.
Chevalier.
Awesome.
In goal, you should sign.
Stones.
Wait,
Trying to
In
get
goal,
rid
you
of him.
should.
Scam
in-
logic.
I want
Guys,
Husam
one
to
at a
answer.
time.
Sam,
We
you answer the
can't
question.
hear.
Okay,
We
let me
can't
give you.
hear.
Let me give you.
Blame
In goal, you
Calvin.
should sign Maignan.
Why should we do that when he's
Oh,
when he's
Magic
like
Mike, that's a
injured
good
all the time?
one.
Why should
No,
we
he's
sign
always
Maignan when he
injured.
gets injured all the time and we've got injury problems already?
You don't like
He's
He's been
Maignan?
in the Champions League,
I don't want Maignan, no.
He is always injured.
and
to
he's
be
won
honest.
trophies.
But I don't want him.
Yeah,
He was
he's
They
very
injured.
won 2 trophies this season.
Guys, there's a
Guys,
massive there's a massive something in the background. I don't know where it's coming from.
It's definitely
Okay.
Max. He
Let
did
me
see
go.
how he is.
I think you have to sign an experienced goalie, an experienced centre back, an
Name
experienced
the names. I want you to name the
I
names.
name you names. I told you Maignan in the centre back position. I think you need to get someone like who's 28, 29, 30 because
Name the names, bro.
we
Name
spoke
them.
about we spoke about Colwell as an example, and I said had Colwell made the move to Liverpool and he's playing next to Van Dijk, his leadership would allow Colwell to bring the best out of himself. That's one of the other things. Same thing up top. Like if Chelsea want to sign someone like that helps them move forward, they should sign someone like an Osimhen, sign someone like that. You know, signing Delap does not help Chelsea take that next step to league winners. It
But
just
Husam,
doesn't.
you just said your opening statement. This is what I'm saying, Nina, because this is what I'm saying. Husam's trying to confuse what's happening right now, right? You said you don't think Chelsea are going to challenge because you don't think these owners are going to try. They don't want to go by experience, right?
Yeah, they don't.
We were literally chasing this guy until the last day of the window, right? This whole Tosin thing, people were telling me Chelsea don't sign anyone above 25. We signed Tosin, who's above 25. We
He was
signed
free.
It doesn't matter if he's free or not, Nina.
No,
That
but-
wasn't. It doesn't matter if he was free or not. The whole narrative was Chelsea don't sign players that are over 25. That's what was being briefed by people, and people like Husam were parading around saying that, right? Free or not, if that's the rule, they wouldn't have signed it. You know what I'm saying, right? Jadon Sancho, you're not going to tell me whether you rate him or not. I rate him as a squad player. Not to say he should be starting week in, week out. Jadon Sancho is an experienced player. No one's going to tell me he's not experienced, bro. He's got experience, right? And in
Experienced
Osimhen,
and average.
they were literally chasing this guy, bro. They were literally chasing him. So
Experienced and
lying.
average.
You're just lying. I don't buy this thing that they won't try and buy
Yeah,
experience.
but
bro. I
Jadon
think they
Sancho's
will.
average. He ain't gonna
I
help you
think
win a
they
league title.
Okay,
He's
stop
average.
dwelling on that. The point that I'm making right now, Husam,
Watson is
it's a
average.
big lie. It's a big lie to try and say that they won't try and sign experience, right? The thing is, they will try and sign experience. What they need to do is get over the line. They couldn't get over the line with Olise. He's experienced. They couldn't get over the line with Osimhen. He's experienced, right? Enzo Fernandez, before he came in, didn't really have much experience, but we got over the line. Caicedo had Premier League experience. We got over the line, right?
1 year.
Some of these guys, you know what I mean? So End of the day, like I said, bro, it's a narrative that you're painting, but I don't
It's
fully
not a
agree with
narrative.
it.
And nothing you have said debunks it, by the way. Literally nothing.
I've just told you a bunch of players that we've signed that have got experience, bro.
Of which none of them are experienced. Enzo wasn't experienced. He had
Whether
6
you
months
rate
in
them or not.
Benfica.
I just told
Caicedo
you
had
Sancho
1 year.
and Totti-
Caicedo had
Sancho
1
and
year in
Totti
the
are
Premier League.
experienced
Palmer
players.
was a youth academy product at Manchester City. The only examples you brought up
Yeah.
is Sancho, who's an average winger, and you brought up Tosin,
Bro,
who
no
was
one's
a
talking
free
about their
signing,
quality.
who's also
I'm
an
not
average
talking
defender. We're
Yeah, but
talking
you're
about
moving
the
the
best.
goalposts.
We're
Sam,
talking.
you're moving the
John, you've
goalposts.
waffled for 7 minutes. You've waffled for 7 minutes. Let me speak.
I'm not waffling, bro.
We're
You're moving
talking
the
about
goalposts.
experienced players who are good, because we're talking about you taking the next step. Prime example is what Liverpool did 7 years ago. Alisson Van Dijk, experienced and good. It's not just about signing experience, because I'm not saying go sign Welbeck, go sign Milner. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying get an experienced player who's 26, 27, 28, who is actually good. You need a midfielder, go get Reinders from AC Milan. You need
We
a
don't need a
striker, go
midfielder.
get Osimhen. You need a winger, you go get someone who's experienced. Maybe Rudiger is out of contract this summer. Go get him at centre back. Goalkeeper, go get Manyan. But instead, you're linked to children in all these positions. Your fan base protested, and the day after you signed Quenda. Is Quenda going to make you closer to a league title? No, because Quenda's going to be good 3 years from now, not now.
All I'm saying is I don't buy this thing that they're not going to try and buy these players you're talking about. The main thing for me is that they need to get over the line, innit? Because they've showed me twice they struggled to, bro. Olise and Osimhen are prime examples of that. You know what I'm saying?
But you didn't.
But you didn't sign
We
them.
tried. Husam's talking.
No,
that we're not
you
gonna
didn't
try.
try. Okay, hold on.
We did
I want to
try.
get Nina's point. I'm going to tell you the difference. The word try is that when you actually get the player over the line. You went to Osimhen and said, you're only going to join in. I'm going to tell you. Let me just finish that next point and you can understand where Hussam is coming from. You only sign that, you only do that try if you're actually going to the player and give him what they want. But you went to Osimhen and said, the only way you're going to join our club, if you join in our terms. That is not trying. Like, for example, if I go to Mbappe tomorrow and say, come to my club, you're only going to make 100K a week. That's not me trying. That's unrealistic. Osimhen wanted a wage. Experience come with demand. Experience come with actually like wages. Your owners, as Hussam said, are not willing to pay these wages that will experienced winner will demand. You get my point? If you go to someone like a Kevin De Bruyne, for example, ASP, and you want to sign him, you're not going to tell Kevin De Bruyne, come join my club for 150K. You have to offer him more than what Man City offer. That is Hussam's point. Trying is not just asking to come to join at your term. That's the point.
You're moving the goalposts because Hussam.
How is that moving the goalposts?
I know what Hussam's trying to say. Hussam's trying to say that we're not even going to try for these players, right? Whether you guys like it or not, Olise rejected Chelsea because we didn't have no Champions League football. That's one of the major reasons. And on top of that, they offered him more money than what we offered him, right? That's the reason why he rejected us. And then Osimhen, bro, it's not just Chelsea that are having problems with this guy's finances. Yeah, there's a lot of clubs in the Prem. Ornstein's already come out and said it that think he's going to go to Saudi because what he's asking for, they don't think he's worth that. You know what I mean? So it's not just us that are doing these things, bro. But for you to try and say that we didn't try and sign Osimhen when we were literally, when Mikel himself has come out and said there was literally just a little bit of details to sort out and he would have joined Chelsea, that's mad. And then Olise, bro, everyone knows that we tried to get Olise 2 summers in a row. You know what I'm saying? So I don't buy this thing. I think
you think you're gonna sign an experienced player, but why are you linked to Huijsen and Dela?
Bro, we're linked to Huijsen and Dela because we like their quality. We like their quality, bro. You know what I'm saying? We like their quality, bro. We think they're quality players, regardless of their age.
So Nina, do you think that it's good to sign like Delap and Huijsen? Is that experience?
You can sign Delap and Huijsen, but that's simply not enough. I said if Delap and Huijsen come in, someone else needs to come in too, and that's where I bring experience in. So Don, that is the one thing I will disagree with you on because
I've said the same thing, though, Nina. I've said the same thing.
Yeah, but
I said I want Delap as a backup.
Finish.
I said I want Delap as a backup, though.
But listen, experience. We had Thiago Silva not long ago. You can't tell me that Tosin is even a third of what Thiago Silva was for us. And I'm sorry, I know he wasn't a free, but he was the first signing we made that summer. He was out there, he was available, we got him. It's not exactly like he was a pursuit that we were literally like outbidding everyone for to get. He was free. He came in.
I'm saying,
Tosin was
confused you.
but he's
Finish.
He's very hot and cold. He's not a complete defender, is he? Yes, he's got 4 years in the league, 4 years experience, great. But I still think that, I don't look at Tosin and think he needs to be in our regular starting back line next season. I don't actually really care that much.
That's not the point I was making,
But
though.
it is the point, though, because you want someone... But you want someone that you're going to start game in, game out, and is going to tie everyone in, right? Why have we chopped and changed our back line so much this season? Because, again, we still don't have that outstanding defender that is experienced and that has come in and has actually made everyone around him look better. They're all hot and cold, and they're all learning from each other. Thiago Silva made all of these defenders that we have now struggling look half good because he was there. So that is what experience does for you. That's how experience elevates the team. And I'm sorry, but we just don't really have that. So we can go in for Hoysen, but someone else needs to come in. I don't know, that's not up to me to find out, but you could go for someone maybe like, I don't know, Jonathan Tah, a servant to the club, 29, has won a league title, helped his team get there. So for me, that's a player that maybe you should be looking at, and someone who comes in, doesn't have that kind of what if factor, can bring Hoysen in too, and can actually build some stability there in that back line. To me, that's something that we should look at.
Yeah, and again, Nino, that wasn't the point, though. He literally said, Hussam is trying to make, it's what I'm saying. Hussam, you can't do this to me, but I'm smarter than this, right? Hussam's trying to make it out. Hussam's trying to make it out like we're just going to sign kids. Hussam's just making it out like we're just going to sign kids. If you ask me what I think of Tosin's quality, I think Tosin is a squad player, right? What we did last summer, we signed squad players. We didn't really sign any players to come into the 11 because these lot were banking on Lavia, Fofana, and Reece to stay fit, right? Because the season prior, we barely saw them. So these three would have been like new signings to us, right? No one's arguing about Tosin's quality. I'm not talking about his quality. But the facts of the matter is, the narrative that was going around is Chelsea aren't going to sign anyone that's 25 plus, right? Whether you like Tosin or not, he is an experienced player. Whether you think he's good or not, or you rate him as a starter, he is experienced, right? And the fact that they signed this guy and tried to sign...
So if you signed Danny Welbeck this summer, does debunk my logic?
Hussam, you're not letting me...
If you signed Danny Welbeck this summer, does debunk my logic?
What do you mean sign Danny Welbeck, bro?
In a hypothetical world, you signed Danny Welbeck this summer. Does debunk my logic? Yes or no?
No, but the players that you're talking about,
So why are you mentioning Tosin then? I don't get the point. You haven't responded to me once.
Nina literally explained the Tosin situation. She literally
I'm talking about experience and good.
No, okay, that's fine. If you want to say experience and good or whatever, like a starter.
Exactly.
Fair enough. But the point that you were trying to make is as if these lot are just going to try and sign kids, and I don't agree with that, bro. I don't think that will be the case.
But that's what you're linked to. That's what Nina.
Literally what you're doing, bro.
We've been linked.
Hoysen is 19. Hoysen is 19. Delap is a youth player. All of them are kids, bro.
But okay, are we at the end of the window?
No, we're not. We're not. But that's what we're saying.
Window hasn't been opened yet.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you know that it's only Delap and Hoysen?
Based off of track record, I cannot look at Chelsea and think that they will sign serious players this summer. Just track record.
And that's a fair point. And I've said many times this summer we need to be bringing in starters. That's what I've said many times. I'm not.
So me and you agree, but you're here shouting for what?
I disagree with what you're saying that we don't sign experience, because I've literally seen us sign experience.
I said experience and good. You miss out that part.
To be honest with you, I think Tosin's come in and done what I expect from a squad player. You know,
bro, Chalobah's mentioned the guy. Chalobah's mentioned the guy. We're not scream over each other. Chalobah is benching Tosin at the current moment.
He is. But this same Tosin guy that you don't want to cook has actually helped us have the.
We're not cooking him. Don. We're not cooking him. Nina's point is very simple. Nina's point is very simple. They're saying sign Hoysen, sign Delap, but you need to bring someone to lead that defense. Awesome. If your guy that you're talking about, Tosin, if he's being benched by Chalobah, who was on loan to Crystal Palace, that is not good enough to lead the line. Him being a squad player is good. Free signing, great. We praised him. Me, Osam, everyone praised that. But you need the next level player that will start week in, week out, that will lead the line regardless of who plays next to them.
We're literally saying the same thing, bro. Even with Delap, I've said for Delap, yeah, I know how toxic this fan base is. I don't want Delap to come in as our main starter. I want Delap to come in as a backup, and you bring someone else in where he can learn from and whatnot, right?
So do you believe your ownership? Okay, simple question. Do you believe your ownership will sign Delap and another striker?
I hope they do. I hope they do.
And
Do you think they will do? Do you think they will do?
I don't know, bro. These guys are unpredictable.
See, don't tell me they don't know. Do they think they will do?
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
You have been watching the ownership for 3 years. You
They're gonna
wanted
be wrong and
answers from
strong,
Osam.
Don.
You
Wrong
wanted
and strong.
answers from Osam. I'm gonna ask Nina the same question. Based on the history of this ownership, do you think your ownership will go for Delap and another striker as well?
I don't think so. I think.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Great
you,
answer.
Nina.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Great answer.
I am
Oh.
hopeful. I am hopeful, but I
Finally, a
don't
straight
think
answer.
so
Bring
because to them, to our owners, Delap is enough to be the soul, the number one. Do you know what I mean? To our owners, they would look at Delap and be like, great, one fantastic year in the league. You've scored goals, you've basically hit Jackson's numbers. For us, that's amazing. You are young, you fit that profile of 1 year of something there to show for us to go in and get you, and you also maybe have room to develop, grow, and raise your value as a player if we need to sell you on at some point. So that's my fear, and I've seen us do it, of course. Not long ago, we brought in Nicholas Jackson in the same way. A half good season in La Liga, hitting those numbers. That's enough for you to come in and become number one. We'll go with you as our number one. So for them, that will be good enough. Delap and Jackson as our centre forward options next year. And that is my fear because, again, I have nothing against Delap, but I'm sorry, he's not everything. He's not the, how do I say this in a nice way?
Solution.
He's not. Yes, thank you. Okay, that's
See,
nice.
she analyzed.
Don,
she analyzed the history and tried to predict the future. We can get it wrong, Don. We all can be wrong.
Bro,
Nina
Another
Hope
thing I
is
was
wrong.
trying to say about
these guys
Osman.
are unpredictable, bruv. And on top of that, I even forgot, even the chat I
They
reminded
are
you of,
very
Neto.
predictable.
Neto
She literally,
isn't an
she is
experienced
very
player.
they're very
Hold
predictable.
on, Mo, yeah? Neto's another one that's not an experienced player. We just went and signed this guy that everyone wanted to fucking sign for their club. But when he comes to Chelsea, he's not experienced. Yeah.
No, he is
That's
experienced. Neto's
Yeah,
good
but
signing.
I don't think we sign experienced though. According to you, Sam, we don't sign experienced players, bro. What's Neto doing here then? What's Neto doing here?
What is he doing? What's he got? 3 goals.
Hey, he's not a goal scoring winger, is he?
You know what I'm saying? Neto's another one, bro. Yeah. All I'm saying is, yeah, with these owners, Mo, like what Nina's saying, cool. It's unlikely, but they are unpredictable, innit? You know what I'm saying? They are unpredictable, bro. That's what it is. And for me personally, bro, I know how toxic this fan base is. I don't want us to sign a Delap. Game week 2, these guys will be saying get him out of it because Arsenal have gone and signed Gyökeres, and Gyökeres has scored a hat-trick on his debut. And now Delap, he's only scored 1 goal. It's getting the fuck out of it. I don't want that for him, bro. Go somewhere else. Go to a Villa. Go to maybe even a Newcastle if Isak leaves. Go somewhere else and stay away from this club because these lot are toxic as fuck. I want someone that's going to come in here, has some Champions League experience already, older than this guy as well, so he's got more experience in the game, right? And better than him right now. I like Delap. But
can I ask you guys, Chelsea fans, something? Don and Nina, do you think there's going to be a point where this ownership flicks the switch and they start going, because we know what the last 2-3 years been more about younger signings, and even the experienced ones before Don comes at me, they're not really on high wages. Do you feel like at some point there's going to be a flick of the switch where you're like, you know what, we have enough of a good core in this team where now we can start making the more premium signings? Now I don't know what your wage bill is like, but I'm just to use a hypothetical. Okay, now I can start giving players over 200K a week because now I think I'm starting to get the superstars in their positions. Do you think there's a point where that happens?
I'd say at the moment, no. And in the near future, no. Because this is what they've worked so hard to implement these last couple of years. And I just don't think that, the model changes. That's probably the one first thing that we, really have requested for. But no, and I think that's why... I just wanted to go back to the point earlier about how much we trust these owners and how much we trust the recruitment to make these decisions. Like, I never really even believed that we were that serious about Osimhen because, yes, he was a pursuit last year at the start of summer. Like, we were instantly in talks, but we knew what Osimhen's terms were. We knew what those terms were from the start. And then you tried to make it out and paint it out that we were on deadline day for him. Like, Osimhen's not a signing you make in 2 hours leading up to deadline day. Like that's why for me that was it never really was going to happen. And now I know that because we have Delap on like our top 3 list and we're talking about him, we're going to go in, we're going to sign him. But for me, we were never that serious about Osimhen. And if we were, Staffy, and if we actually wanted to maybe change the model because we would recognize that Osimhen comes in and elevates us instantly, gets us goals and, you know, is less of a risk factor. Of course, there's no guarantee. You know, we've seen that and we've hurt ourselves more than anyone with buying the 100 million super strikers. But the point being that there's less of that risk factor, but they weren't ever really willing to do that for a player like Osimhen. So it doesn't really make me believe it now or in the next 5 years that will happen because we're so.
5 years.
Nina, can I ask you a question? Nina? Yeah?
So many years. Have we experienced what these owners are like with Champions League football?
No. But
what makes you really predict what the plan
Then
is?
why didn't you answer with that,
John? But right now they're so set in buying young, talented players that have some sort of flair to them. Maybe, like I said, just a year is enough for you to come into Chelsea at the moment if you've got a good year behind your belt, whether it's in the Prem or whether it's in one of the other European leagues. That's enough if you've got potential there. And because that's just how we're building our squad at the moment, it just doesn't fill me with confidence to answer Staffy's question that they would change that to bring in some premium players and actually maybe change up the wage structure, because that's something that they tried so hard to do in these last couple of years.
Would you not argue that Caicedo was a premium player when we bought him?
No. Premium player, yes, but not one that you change your wage structure for, Don. That's the question right now.
The wage structure. I mean, they've said plenty of times though that they'll be open to, you know, breaking this wage structure that they've got, depending on who the player is. And right now, like I said, it'll be very interesting to get Champions League football, because what I've said on my channel is I don't want these guys to be making excuses this summer about wages and not trying to pay up. If you make Champions League, everyone's money goes up by 20%. So whoever you're going in for, bro, you better get that over the line, Nina. You know what I mean? I don't want to be seeing this thing of, oh, we're not in the Champions League, we ain't got the bread right now. You better fucking make sure you make it in there, bro. You know
that is true.
You bring these guys in. And that's what I keep saying when people are saying, oh, Don doesn't want to be wrong. It's not that I don't want to be wrong, but there's so many different factors here, right? These clearly are unpredictable.
That's literally what it is. There was zero links, yeah, not a single link about Neto. All of a sudden, we see Fabrice Hawkins saying Neto is about to sign for Chelsea. We get here we go within like an hour from Fabrizio, bro, right? We don't know what these guys are working on in the back. And with Champions League football, we don't know where they're going to go with this. You know what I mean? I don't buy this thing that they're not going to pay the wages, bro. I think they will, depending on who they go for. You know what I'm saying? I think with Osimhen, it's clear it's not just Chelsea. If it was a Chelsea problem, cool, fair enough. But like I said, people like to, you know, talk about Ulti like he's the number one guy when it comes to transfers. This same guy has literally said a lot of clubs think Osimhen's going to go to Saudi because of his wages. So I'm not really looking at that as just like a Chelsea problem. I think that's an Osimhen problem, if anything. You know what I mean? But this summer, I like Delap, bro. I put this guy on my list, yeah, before the season started. Players to watch out for, right? I like Delap.